Join Dalton and Jacob as they discuss the ever-changing world of trading card games. TCG Buzz starts now.
Hello and welcome to TCG Buzz. My name is Jacob, this is Bryce, and we're in the hot seats today because our studio's AC is broken and it's like 90 degrees in here. So we're going to get a little bit heated today, especially since our topic of the day is Magic the Gathering.
Uh-oh, is it time?
It's time. You guys know from the thumbnail, I'm sure I memed up something for it. But we're going to be talking about Magic the Gathering, its increasing costs, Collector's Edition boosters, and VIP boosters.
So the time has come.
Let's start by backtracking a little bit. Wizards of the Coast did their first Collector's Booster Pack with Throne of Eldraine, what, almost a year ago, roughly?
Yep, and that was kind of like their whole... after taking a break from the lottery cards, essentially. Mm-hmm. And this is their way of, you know, sliding back into your DMs. Like, bruh. Full art.
So, initial thoughts for me were, it's interesting because you can pull cards that should be exclusive to the collector's boosters in normal packs. They're just very rare. Although they've become more common as the sets have gone on. We'll talk about that. And then I'm like, well, I guess it's a good thing for the market for players who want, you know, the normal standard experience. They don't have to worry about it. Mm-hmm. And those who want something premium can get something premium. Literally, we know it went horribly wrong.
Yep.
And this was not the first time, to be clear. They also did the like Mythic Edition things for Ravnica before that, which those were a train wreck. And before that, you can even, if you really want to draw backwards, you can also look at your Ultimate Masters box toppers being kind of a premium thing, as well as your expeditions and masterpieces and invocations.
Speaking of, 2 years ago, people, you know, some of them thought they were going to swear up and down that it was the last Master set ever, while other people were like, yeah, it was just going to be a hiatus and they're just going to come back swinging. Well, the portion of the people were right. However, they came out swinging a little too hard.
So, my primary complaint with collector's boosters is what they're doing to the base product. You've opened standard normal packs, right? They suck now.
Yep.
They've kind of always sucked, but they suck even more now.
It's like, oh boy, this Mythic is $3.
I feel like because we've got such access to this premium product, and we'll cover the VIP boosters after, we got to talk through the collector's boosters first. It drags down the base product. I mean, when I thought about it before, foil rare was something special. Now, I've got a box full of them.
Well, not only that, is like back then the lottery cards were actually a reason to buy the booster box. Because you had a chance in it in your case to get one. And they were special. Because there was only one of a select, you know, of a set. Look at Amonkhet. You were lucky enough to even get an Invocation Blood Moon. Which was arguably the best one, in my opinion. Or the Consecrated Sphinx. Or the Dark Ritual. Stuff like that. And now with these collector boosters, you don't even want to buy the base set. You don't even want to go anywhere near it. When you're guaranteed value out of the collector boosters, for the most part.
Yeah, I've seen some bad ones, but for the most part, there's considerable value. And what it's doing is it's not making the cards in it worth more, it's making everything else worth less. Mm-hmm. I think... I understand why they exist. Wizards of the Coast is literally printing money. There's no extra cost, really, to them to printing a collector's booster versus a normal booster. Mm-hmm. Sure, you have to have new art for your special showcase cards or whatever, and maybe pay a license for Godzilla, or, you know, in the next set when they license Hello Kitty.
Dora the Explorer,
but
previously on Zendikar.
But it's 12 packs. I don't care. Oh, they're all foil. Guess what? The difference between a pack of no foils and a pack of all foils is a penny.
It's practically zero.
It's printing money for them. The thing with that is they're never going to stop. And it's just like with every other new rarity or addition to the game. Once you have it, it never goes away.
Speaking of printing money, do you want to break the mold, or do you want me to? It's just,
What do you got?
They announced recently, 2 weeks ago, that they're going to do VIP.
Oh, you're
packs.
dating our video? I specifically asked you not to!
I'm sorry, I'm flung into like 2022 where everything's all good again. But recently, they've announced, hey, VIP packs. They're like collector boosters, but better. But oh wait, a little bit time later, even more recently, they're like, yo, you got money? Because these are 90 a pack. And get this, a VIP booster box is not 12, not 6 packs, 4.
For over $400.
What?
So, let's talk about why this is stupid. Now, there's always going to be the counter argument of, well, don't buy it.
Or
Right.
like, but the value, that's the problem.
But let me try and wrap my head around this. Wizards of the Coast expects us in a very economically unstable time to dish out $90 for a pack of cards.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Just one.
That are not necessarily guaranteed to go up in value. They're
Or
reprints.
Or necessarily to meet the price quota that they want.
No. They're reprints. Every one of them. Which is cool for normal master sets, but when you're selling a premium product, I understand that. Let me phrase this right. I'd much rather them be reprints than not reprints. If they release premium exclusive cards that are only in the $90 booster pack,
Yes.
You'd have a mass exodus from the game. But at the same time, there's no way these are going to be a good value long term.
Nope.
Part of the problem is Wizards of the Coast has drained into the bucket of reprints so much. I don't think there's a single reprint in the set that's going to be the same price it's at now, 5 years from now. Remember when Jace the Mind Sculptor was yikes priced? With this reprint in Double Masters, he's probably going to drop down to like $60.
I mean, he's already on his way there.
Remember when Tarmogoyf was expensive?
Oh, the struggles of playing Jund in Modern.
The thing with it is, that's a good thing that the cards' prices are decreasing.
Mm-hmm.
But you're also devaluing them by the mass inflation of the cards. Which, there should always be some expensive cards in a card game. I know there are some people who want to live in happy-go-lucky land where it's all just, everything costs 50 cents.
Oh, so Pokemon. Hey,
Not
I'll give him credit though. It's the cheapest game out there.
But I think I'm kind of angry about it because Wizards isn't saying we're doing this as a benefit to our players. This is Wizards saying we need to make big quarterly income, and they're treating their players like sacks of cash.
No, you
Now,
can't
Wizards-
just keep massacring my wallet. Ha ha ha, money go burr.
The problem here is this isn't remotely the first time we've had to talk about this. We don't do it often on the channel because we haven't covered Magic all that much before. But remember when people said, oh, box toppers? That's just milking things and gonna ruin the game, right? Oh, Mythic Editions? What about when they tried to sell us 5 fetch lands for $400? Non-foiled, might I add. Wizards of the Coast has realized that at this point, cards are worth what they say they're worth.
Yep.
And that's the most terrifying thing.
But you kind of realized that when we saw that secret lair for the lands. Because they could just throw out any price tag they wanted, and people, for the most part, and this is not to bash on the player base, are stupid enough to buy it for overinflated prices.
It reminds me so much of comic books in the 1990s.
Oh, Jesus.
Comic books went on for decades upon decades and became quite the collectible. And when comic book companies realized this, they had their whales. People who would go out and buy every single print run variant of the new Superman comic that's coming out. So they print 8 exclusive versions, and this one would be more expensive with this art, and this one, and this one, and this one, and this one, and that one, and that one, and that one. And they did this so much, they burnt out and nearly destroyed the entire industry. And you know how much those 90s comics are worth? Nothing. A couple of them are worth money, but most, nope. Your old collection of 80s, 90s comics, worth nothing. And what they created, more than anything, was a fan base filled with cynics. People began not trusting Marvel and DC and IDW, and they started becoming smarter buyers because they had to. Because in order to enjoy that hobby and get what you wanted out of it, they expected you to fork out loads of money.
I mean, just look at video games in general, too. When DLCs were introduced, oh my lord, they just milked you. They still do, as long as your name's EA. They still milk you dry. And it's so abysmal because now they can basically get away with handing you the skeleton of a game and then season pass for $60, get blah, 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 blah. But it's like, but why weren't they here to begin with? Why is budgeting suddenly different now that we have this alternative payment? Now, there's nothing wrong with DLC, don't get me wrong, but there's also a right way to do it.
I think there's no way for this to keep going up. What happens next time a master set rolls around and they said every card is going to be super special, amazing, they're going to be gold foiled, they're going to be signed by their artists, they're going to be holographic, glow in the dark, and each booster pack is $1,000. You know what? Let's talk about the things you could buy other than a $90 booster pack. How about a full box of a standard set?
My electric bill.
Sure, you could buy a relatively decent budget modern deck.
A couple of fetch lands.
You could buy a good commander deck.
You could buy 22 Soul Rings. 22 of them.
You could buy, like, easily 30-ish alpha commons. You could buy a new video game and its season pass. You could buy 90 McChickens. Guess what? I'm going to get a lot more enjoyment out of those McChickens or that new video game than I am out of a single booster pack.
In fact, you might end up with depression, if anything, if your pack is garbage. Because then you realize you just spent $90 on false hopes and dreams. And just came crashing down.
It's just really sad to see where Wizards of the Coast has gone to. You know, I'd love to say that they've been moving in a positive direction, but I can't think of a positive thing they've done in the past 5 years.
They're clearly, and this is my own theory on this, my own thing, so quote me on this if you will, but I feel like ever since Arena, they're trying to kill off their own paper form of the game.
Maybe standard.
Oh, definitely. Have you seen Lars? But, I mean, like, look at, afterwards, too, they printed Modern Horizons. It's like they were trying to kill the format when they printed Hogak.
Wizards does not care if you enjoy their product. They do not care if your product holds long-term value.
Look at Oko.
They do not care if you're having fun with your cards. All they care about is how many dollars they can milk out of you.
Yep. I mean, like,
it's like Apple charging $40 for a cable.
You know, of that...
$200 for a stand.
Out of that audio jack that they completely took out of the design of your phone, and then they sell back to you to the converter to get a headphone jack in your phone anyways. But I mean, like, the thing with, too, is what's sad about it is, it's like, I understand business is business and you gotta make money somewhere, but you're going to come to a point where no one's going to want to buy your product anymore. And at this point, the only thing you're going to have going for you is MoteGo or Arena. And Arena, they're not going to make that much money off anyways, unless they go like full on like a mobile tactic, like buy the currency,
But that's how it works. You buy gems.
Yeah, you buy your mythic tokens or whatever they call it.
You actually can't buy your wild cards.
Oh, not yet.
No,
give it time.
No, it's actually worse than that because they expect you to buy packs to get them. They're the one thing you need in the game, and they intentionally don't sell them to you. It's really
messed up.
But the problem here is how allowing a company to be greedy makes them greedier. And that sounds obvious, but you're going to see if you let it slide once, they're going to not try another time and escalating a little. No, you're going to see every format turned into its thing. Every format's going to become the new money printer.
Yep.
Look what's happened this year to Commander. Wizard of the Coast this year clearly has noticed they're holding the Commander precon there and just going, it prints money with it shooting out. That's the reason they're printing specific for Commander cards that are very, very strong. They know that's where the money's at. Next thing you know, look at this. They're already saying, we don't care if Modern's an approachable format as long as we're making money. Next thing you know, we're going to get a Pioneer-only set that's going to be $45 a pack, and it's going to suck. And next thing after that, they're going to start making it so every set includes a common that's going to be super broken for poppers, so it's going to be a $25 each common, and you can only get it in the Super Mega Ultra Tier Platinum Edition booster pack.
I mean, it's sad too because they're getting rid of DCIs. After 20 years. 20 years of this faithful, reliable program that's been efficient, they're cutting off. Now you have to have a WotC account. And they have to use your email every single time you sign up. That's more time wasted just to sign up for your FNM. And at that point, why bother?
I don't want to be that guy spelling doom and gloom. But people are going to get tired of this. I think they already are.
Mm-hmm.
How many people would buy a box of Standard every time a new set would come out? How many of those people are saying, well, I guess why bother buying a box? I'd have to get that stupid $250+ collector's booster.
I mean, you were talking about how collector boosters are devaluing the regular booster too. Look at Ikoria. The only way you make any money at all, and this is not even like big buck mondo unless you have like the luck of a god, which if you, I don't know how things are going to work with our schedule here, but you're not going to really break the bank. You're just going to make a marginal profit, if that, and then you have to also post the cards online, sell them, pay the fees, and buy that. It's just not worth it.
Let's talk about a concept that every player understands. That's power creep. Power creep is something we all get. Cards get more powerful over time, and it generally is frustrating for players.
Mm-hmm.
The same thing happens to value. And every time they do this, they have to make the next thing they do more special for the marketing department.
Just take a trip all the way back to when Birthing Pod was in Modern still. Back right around when people were still diving into the format, thinking Control was amazing, and people didn't realize how good, Primeval Titan stuff were that good yet. And Birthing Pod was considered the best deck because it was a very good engine for value. Back then, a lot of cards had a lot more money. Your Birthing Pods were worth at least, $30 a pop, if not more back then. And then, your Rangers had value, and now it's if you're not playing, just look at Tron, how that deck has evolved, but yet it's still made a price tag because a lot of that stuff doesn't get printed anymore. They're still powerful, but now there's all these new decks popping up because now Wizards has made it their mission to, oh, by the way, this new set, you could play these in Modern, you could play these in blah 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 format, because they have to intentionally push the power level of certain cards to appease the entire player base. And that's a very dangerous game. Look at Lars. Lars caused all... Yes. Nothing like Oko has ever happened before. Yeah, Hogak was a menace, But Oko single-handedly, when it was released, took over every single format outside of Commander because that's not a competitive
And
format.
that's going to happen every set.
Yeah. And now it's just going to happen. Look at Loris now, back-to-back. Like, now...
No, you forgot about Theros. Everyone forgets about Theros. You know why? Because Theros is an incredibly forgettable set.
Oh, Garrett Busey! Ha ha ha! Great merchant.
Now let's talk about the worst thing. Secret layers.
Yeah.
Man, when secret layers were first announced, I thought they were a cool idea. And I still think they're a cool idea. They're specific niche products for niche players. But Wizards of the Coast can't handle the temptation.
No.
We have gotten so many secret layers in just the, year or so since they've been out? Not even.
The problem is that you claim that these are special, but they're not special. It's like when people say that old phrase that every child is special, well, every blah 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 is special. No, they're not.
Wizards of the Coast has used secret layers as a Trojan horse in order to bypass distributors and bypass local game stores and sell singles directly to players.
And that's crazy to think too, considering how some secret layers are just like garble, but people still buy them anyway. The Zodiac Killer, in a vacuum of value, wasn't that great. However, people still buy it because, well, I need it for my commander deck, or, some blah 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 is getting into Magic. Personally,
or just buying it because they think it'll be more expensive later on.
Mm-hmm. Speculation, yeah. Mm-hmm. And the problem is like, there's only a 24-hour buying period. That's it. 24 hours, then they're done.
These are not sustainable.
No.
Whatsoever.
And the worst problem is that none of these cards are worth jack unless it's the Stained Glass Planeswalkers, and if that is your name is Liliana, Teferi, or Narset. And that's it, because that's the only three that are ever played.
It's... they printed a pack, which was literally just Bitter Blossom and a couple of tokens for $30.
It was Bitter Blossom, what's that one? The Life from the Loam. That's the one. Life from the Loam, and it was
No, that was the other one. Bitter Blossoms is literally just it in four matching tokens.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Yep.
I forget, because that was the same time period, but different ones. But they were similar price tags, don't get me wrong. But
what is Wizards of the Coast end goal, besides making money here? I think their eventual goal is to completely get rid of the standard booster box and replace it with what is now currently the collector's booster. And it's a sneaky way for them, with no increased expenses, to raise MSRP by over double.
Yep.
Then the next goal there is to have a new secret layer at all the time. There will never be a point where there isn't a secret layer coming out soon.
Yep.
And they'll eventually be used to form the backbone of Wizards of the Coast, directly just having their own TCG player store, basically, where they're just selling cards directly.
Yep. They won't even give you the box anymore. They're just like, here, go buy the singles. Boom, did it.
That will, let's go over the negative repercussions. One, it'll destroy the feeling of opening packs forever. Two, it'll destroy your local game store.
Yep.
There's no way in this current climate that your local game store can live.
Look at Frost Giants. They have a hard enough time getting them in as it is. And even so, even if they do get them in, they don't last.
Wizards of the Coast is also very, very much picking up on artificial scarcity. And they're intentionally keeping their products scarce, much in the way that Nintendo is famous for doing. To raise prices and, most importantly, raise the urge to go out and buy it right now, because I might not be able to get that box a week from now. Maybe that new Zendikar Rising box collector's edition, maybe it's only $270 right now, but maybe tomorrow will be $350 and I won't be able to find it, and then I'll panic, and then I'll have a panic attack, and then my panic attack will cause me to faint, and I'll fall over and I hit my head on the table, and boom, I'm dead because I didn't buy Zendikar Rising.
And unfortunately, this has already been a thing that's been in motion for a very, very long time. Look at the modern master sets. This has been something they've been slowly building up over time, seeing as how they can slowly just sneak this in into our lives as players. And now, more recently, they're getting super aggressive with it. And they already confirmed that the Double Masters is going to be a one and done. Once again, nothing new, but now it's more so, well, your store might not get what you ordered. That's scary to think about that. I mean, and the other card games are picking up on this. Dragon Ball, I mean, and then...
It's just like when Apple removes the headphone jack, now everyone else has to do it.
It's crazy to think.
What I also see with that is, with this artificial scarcity issue, is I've had several people I've talked to been talking about whatever the cool new set is, and they say, oh, I might not be able to get it from my local game store, so I'm just going to go and pre-order it on Amazon.
Yep, and that's how you selectively kill off a format, is by not supporting it at all.
Alright, we've ranted enough. I'd love to say some good things, but honestly, I'm feeling kind of down on the game right now. So if you guys have counterpoints, please, by all means, share them down below. Maybe we're missing something.
I mean, that's honestly why I'm kind of visiting $50 Vintage, because that's fun.
Yeah, it's fun, it's clever, and it doesn't break the bank. And I don't feel like I'm being milked in order to play it.
Right, because the most you spend is $50. That's it.
I feel that way now at this point with every other format.
I wish we can do something like that for Buddy Fight, but $50 budget is not as necessarily achievable as we.
Yeah,
like.
Please tell us why we're wrong. Tell us why we're right. Please like this video. Let us know if you want to see more Magic discussions. We're just kind of here. And check out our Patreon, please. Cards are getting very expensive. We could use some help. Check out our Instagram. I'm pretty bummed out. Join our Discord. We'll see you guys next time.
Come here.
Thanks for listening to TCG Buzz. New episodes can be found on tcgbuzz.com. Don't forget to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. For box openings, deck profiles, and more, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel.